Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And this video is a little unique because we don't really have much of a plan going into it. We're just really going to sit here and talk about football for 20 minutes. There's no pre-plan. This is purely spontaneous discussion.
Not planned.
It is
Definitely
not planned.
That voice crack wasn't playing either.
Alright, yeah, so it's going to be an interesting video. I'm eager to see what topics come up. Will we talk about predictions, certain teams, players we're excited to watch, fantasy, who knows what'll come up. But it's just going to be three dudes having just a genuine conversation about football. We are going to set a timer for ourselves because if we didn't, this would be a 3-hour video and I wouldn't even watch that. So we're not going to do that to you. So we're going to go with a 20-minute timer. Someone who wants to set it, Jordan, you got it. And we will try to hold ourselves to that just because, again, we could talk about football for hours, but, we don't want to bore you.
All right. You definitely can't see it, but if you zoom in into the really pixelated, you can see 20-minute timer when we set. You ready? Boys, tell me when to start it.
All right. Go for it.
Started.
All right. So, let's just talk football. Anyone got any team, player, coach, anything NFL related that anyone wants to shout out? I got stuff you guys don't quite yet, but floor is open.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna start us off here, and so it's kind of relevant to us here. We literally just had our fantasy football draft. We had it upstairs, and so kind of a question that I had while I was drafting that I ended up answering myself, but I'll just ask you guys. So Aaron Rodgers is an interesting fantasy choice this year. We all know he's a great quarterback, right? But for fantasy football, kind of interesting because he doesn't have his best receiver anymore, right? So, what's his outlook going to look like now since, he doesn't have very many people to throw to, and so he kind of slipped for a while, and eventually I was like, fine, I'm just going to freaking do it. I'm going to pick him up, and I'm going to play him and be happy with it because it's Aaron Rodgers. So what do you guys think?
Well, I think there's a reason that he won back-to-back MVPs. I think that when you just look at what this guy brings to the team, I think it was last season, Thursday Night Football in Arizona. I think he was without definitely Devontae Adams, but I think, one of the other two guys, MVS or Lazard, maybe both of them, but he was definitely down two of his top receivers, and he still found a way to go into Arizona, which might have been an undefeated team at the time, and he still helped his team pull out a win. So obviously Aaron Rodgers, when he's got a guy like Devontae Adams, or in the past he's had a lot of well-known receivers as well, but he's going to find a way. You could put, practice squad guys out there. He is going to find a way. And it's just because, I always stress this. Most valuable player is not the same as the most talented player. Aaron Rodgers does not have the arm strength of Josh Allen. He doesn't have the athleticism of Lamar Jackson. But when you talk about a guy who just knows football, knows where he wants to put the ball, knows when to put the ball there, and knows how to get it there, that's just Aaron Rodgers. The ball placement, the timing on his throws, he's just so great. He just never seems to get rattled, and he's just always so calm and, poised and relaxed in the pocket, no matter if it's Devontae out there or Lazard or MBS, or now you got Christian Watson or...
just drafted him.
Yeah, Jordan got him on a fantasy team, or a guy like Sammy Watkins who they brought in. He's going to find a way, no matter who you put out there. So I feel very good about Aaron Rodgers. I put him right up there in the contenders for MVP for this year. Wouldn't that be something, a three-peat in MVP? But yeah, I feel great about Aaron Rodgers. Put practice squad guys out there, put Pro Bowl guys out there. Regardless, he's going to find a way to do some damage.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great point. Tyler, you got some stats up over there?
Yeah, I was just trying to look at, in terms of fantasy, what you're looking for in your quarterbacks is touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, he had 37 touchdown passes, and then Devontae Adams accounted for 11 of those.
Yeah.
Which is really not as much as you would think,
Yeah.
right?
6 other guys caught touchdowns? Not bad.
Not...
You said 37?
Yeah, but doesn't mean... Yeah.
Not 26. 26
not
touchdowns
26
went to other
people.
players.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said 26 other guys caught touchdowns.
Yeah, other guys.
Okay, well, I get okay, we're not going to waste time on this, but,
That'd be
we know
something
what
you
you
said to
meant.
me.
We know what you meant. Anyway, so
Honestly,
yeah.
that was wrong.
It's okay. Yeah, I just think of all those 2-minute drives. I just think of the Hail Marys, and I just think of all the value there. Like Green Bay is a team that's definitely always going to be able to
Oh, I
steal
get it
those
now.
points at the end of the half. Maybe it's just, Aaron Rodgers gets the ball back with, 20 seconds left at his own 25, but he finds a way to get it down there, and then you have the team hit a 50-plus yard field goal before the half. Just having Aaron Rodgers back there, like if you have the Pro Bowl supporting cast, it's fine, but he's going to give you a chance to win each and every game regardless of who you put around him, and that's truly rare in today's game.
Yeah.
Completely agree. That's why I picked him.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of going back to the fantasy thing again, do you believe in the quarterback, and do you believe that he's going to be able to put up stats? Because that's all it is the stats.
Yeah, stats are really important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, honestly, I have none. So
Yeah.
I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I don't have stats, so I don't know, it's tough to judge sometimes. But, I can make my judgments based
Yeah.
off of things. So.
Fair enough.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, so
So I guess since we're with fantasy football, we just had our draft. We'll move off of it quickly, but what's your guys' favorite pick you guys had today? What was your favorite?
I gotta
Your
look.
favorite
I
fantasy
gotta
football
look at
pick?
my whole.
Phone's up there. I got the picture.
I gotta look at my
Tell me what we
team.
heard.
Okay, do you have yours? I
I don't even know. I don't have my team pulled up right now because everything's on the phone that we're recording with.
I will say I feel like I got some really sneaky good running backs, and I had a couple they say in terms of the NFL draft, they say, oh, you're gonna run the card in on that one, like it's a no-brainer. You're just gonna be waiting, and just boom, don't even let the clock run down at all. Just go run in there, submit the pick. I had that attitude for both Javonte Williams and James Conner. I think that what James Conner does as a receiving back, I think that he's a strong runner who could run up the middle, but he's also a guy that'll catch those dump-off passes. He's a red zone weapon, and I remember several times last year where he just went off, and I remember one time where I was playing against him and I was like, man, is James Conner really gonna score 20 points and make me lose? So I'm glad to have him on this side. And Javonte Williams, I think, is gonna have a heck of a year. I think he's gonna be Denver's number one guy. His footwork is insane. The little things he does, he's a patient runner, he's a smart runner. He sometimes it's not breaking for big plays, but just getting 5 yards instead of 2 yards. I think that's what he does, because he is just so hard to tackle because of the hip movement, the footwork, the way he runs, and how he always just seems to find a running lane until the defense finally does get him, which does take a while. So I felt really good about Javonte Williams and James Conner. I think those are two guys that are gonna pay dividends for me in fantasy.
Yeah, I can't even think of. I mean, I was glad to get a couple of guys. I drafted Zach Wilson late despite his injury.
Because he'll probably maybe miss a regular season game or two, if that.
They're saying 2 to 4 weeks, which is good news in comparison to what people were saying about the
Yeah, that was a 20
ACL tear. But I mean, clearly it's not good they sit out, but it's much better being that. I drafted a lot of young guys. Like I got Kadarius Toney, who I had last year too. I mean, Brees Hall was another rookie.
I thought that was a good pick. He was my number one running back in the NFL draft. I think he's going to do a lot of good things in New York. Great footwork, really patient runner, kind of similar to Javonte Williams in a lot of ways. So I thought that was a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's really about it. I mean, I'd have to look at my roster again.
Yep. Mine would either be Aaron Rodgers for the spot that I got him, because in past drafts he's gone a lot higher. And also James Cook, I got him pretty late, and I think he could be an emerger for the Bills.
You think
Well,
he'll be-
I
you think
worry
he'll be my
about-
number one back.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he
what I
definitely
worry
could be,
about.
honestly. And I drafted Dalvin Cook too, so I had to unite the family together on my team. It's gonna be fun
But-
thinking of a fantasy football name.
They have Singletary there too, obviously. And then Zach Moss is still on the team, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's two other guys that
But
Already-
why draft him if you're not going to play him, right?
Yeah, and here's what I think about that situation. First of all, if you had Russell Wilson on your team could have been let Russ cook. I mean, that would have just made too much sense.
I wanted to. But I didn't draft him.
Okay.
You know
Yes,
why.
we've been.
I love Russell
we've
Wilson.
we've been over that. But my stance on this is, I think, look, Buffalo's got some decent running backs, but when you look at that offense, they've got the elite quarterback. They've got in my opinion, a top 3 wide receiver. They've got a solid number 2 in Gabriel Davis, a solid O-line, solid tight end in Dawson Knox. But the running back, the running backs are good. They're serviceable, but I feel like getting James Cook really just opens things up for them, because I think James Cook is going to be a first and second down back who can run up the middle. And when you look at Devin Singletary, yeah, he can run up the middle, but I think of Singletary more as a third down back with pitches or outside runs, or maybe even if they want to get creative and use him in a slot receiver type role. So I think that could be what Singletary is. And I think James Cook is the guy who runs up the middle, runs between the trenches, does the dirty work, because I feel like that's what Buffalo may have lacked last year. So,
And what do you think Zach Moss fits in?
I think Zach Moss, I mean, he's not completely odd man out. I just think he'll be more like just the typical backup. Like, he'll fill in, like, if a guy, obviously if a guy gets injured, but just really in general, I just think he's going to be a guy who kind of, almost like a wild card. Like, I think he can do both those things, but I think ultimately in terms of talent, I think James Cook's going to be ready to go. I think running back is one of the positions where I feel like the, transition from college to the NFL is probably the easiest. And
It's
I mean,
the holes that you're running through don't change.
Yeah.
The hits you're taking do. The defenders and how smart they are, that changes. But, like, running back is an instinctual position to
Yeah.
play, and it's more instinctual than any other position. In each position, like wide receiver, cornerback, you have to have instincts to play. You sometimes there's just things you just can't teach. But I feel like being a running back, like, you're told what to do, and then you get that ball handed to you, and you're not even thinking, you're just going.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really a good way to put it. So, yeah, I think they got that type of running back in the draft specifically because they know they have the finesse guy, the the receiving back guy in Singletary. So, they could have gotten like more of a nimble mover running back, but they just want James Cook to be that bell cow, running up the middle,
Look what
punching in
Troy's
that first
from.
goal.
I mean,
Yeah, no, that's a great
got a
running
great
back.
track
school. I
history.
mean, Chubb, Gurley, Michelle. I mean, that's where you want to be for running backs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Buffalo's running back committee plays out because that's a team which we're all very high on. I'll just say that. But go watch our last video if you want to see just how high we are on them.
Yeah. So, to finish out the banana here. First off, do you like your bananas like harder or softer? That's the question.
I mean, I don't know why we're wasting our 20 minutes on this, but
We only got a limited amount of time.
Well,
Yeah.
just give me an answer.
what I really do is I peel the banana, cut it up, and eat the pieces on a plate with the fork.
Okay. But do you like, because when you cut it, it gets softer, but do you like it more ripe and more firm?
I would say, well, like I don't do it like I gotta wait for it to be yellow, like if I
Okay, yeah, I like it like in that transition from green to
okay.
yellow. That's my.
We got
that's
bananas
mine.
upstairs. That one, or just like hold up the banana again.
No, this is the perfect banana.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
good.
like it a little bit more green.
Yeah,
but
that
for the
looks-
most part,
looks
green.
pretty good.
So-
Yeah, that's
some more
fine.
green would be.
This is
my
actually
taste.
about perfect.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
Hey, bananas off trees.
All right, but now more importantly, why? Just why? Where did that come?
Look, you said you didn't want to answer the question, then you went into it in a more intellectual, deep thinking process about it, and you explained your process of eating a banana. That just goes to show that we can just talk about anything that we want. Now, speaking of that, let's talk about something else. Let's discuss the Jets for a little bit. Tyler, you
Okay.
talked about
Speaking
Zach
of banana,
Wilson.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Zach Wilson probably likes bananas. I'd make a bet that Elijah Mitchell does too.
He's got some banana storylines going on over there
Yeah.
this season.
I meant Elijah Moore is what I actually meant to say, but I'm sure Elijah Mitchell, he was on my fantasy team last year. He probably likes bananas as well. Anyways, so for the Jets, Ryan and Tyler, you're both very high on the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ryan, you got a bold prediction?
Yeah. Well,
So
I'll say it,
explain-
and then
yeah,
Tyler
explain
can
it.
yell at me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a bold prediction about the Jets this year, and that is I think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. That's my bold prediction this year.
Oh, you want me to yell at you now?
Well, yeah, that's what you always do. That's not bold. Everyone says that.
Everyone says that is their bold prediction because that's the
okay.
truth.
So
So
I mean,
once
yeah.
if a bold prediction becomes something that everyone is using for their bold predictions, it's no longer a bold prediction.
Okay. Well, look, I have evidence that I said this a while ago. So I mean, you could talk about the Jets while I find that because I think we genuinely like I don't know if you're going to pick them to make the playoffs, but I think we generally
No,
kind of
let's,
agree
let's
on the
do
Jets.
it this way then. So let's say
Okay,
talk
no,
about Zach
April
Wilson.
April 29th, right after the draft. No coincidence. Look what Ryan said in the touchdown table group chat. You want to read that?
No, we don't have that much time.
Well, I was
I'll read
way
it.
I was way only read that. When I was way ahead of the trend. So, yeah. And that was right after the draft, which I mean, you could talk about the Jets first because I've taken a lot of time, but I have to talk about the Jets draft because their first 4 picks were like,
Right. Despite what many thoughts about Thibodeau coming into last year, Despite what many thought about Thibodeau.
that just literally that what I said.
Oh,
and the
it's
date.
between.
No, below that.
Oh, Warning.
Above that.
Oh,
Should have Ryan rated.
Jets will make the playoffs this year.
And what date? What's the date above that?
April 29th.
Oh,
That's my cousin's birthday.
That's day 2 of the NFL draft. What do you know? So Tyler, you share your thoughts about the Jets and say if you think they'll make the playoffs, and then I'll kind of bounce off of you.
And let's not talk about Zach Wilson.
Okay, I mean, we're talking about the Jets in general, but I do think they're a team that gets closer to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're a team I would say to make the playoffs in the contested AFC. But the only argument I make is the bold prediction is something I've seen everywhere talking about how much better the Jets are going to be this year. And there's definitely reasons for that. I mean,
a lot of people say they're going to be better, but how many are saying they're going to make the playoffs?
a lot of people are saying they're going to be
Okay.
close, and then bold predictions I've seen lots of people saying they're going to squeak into the playoffs and all that type of stuff.
Well, Ryan, do you think they're going to squeak into the playoffs, or do you think are they going to get one of those new playoff spots that like every team gets in now, or do you think
I think they'll be a wild card. I think it's Buffalo's division, so I'm not saying they're going to go 14-3 and get a
Would
bye.
they be like a good wild card, or like just barely,
I think
9 and whatever the heck
I'll
their record
I'll
is,
say
9
they
and
win
8?
10 games and get in.
10 games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could get you. The AFC is going to be really good, so that could still be like the 7 seed. But I think like
And that makes it more bold,
this is
the
a
fact
year
that
where
it's
even
AFC.
you'd have to admit that the 7 seed
10 wins for
is-
the Jets. That's a bold prediction. I will
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
And I guess, like I said, the AFC this year, you're probably going to need 10 wins to make the
At
playoffs.
least, I think I did my playoff predictions. I think I have I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I think I have a 10-win team just left out, and I have nothing against that team. It's just it's like musical chairs.
Yeah. I never liked that game that much, but
Okay.
it was so stressful.
All right. So
Sometimes a good song. So.
staying on the Jets though, can we talk about their draft? Like, I was just blown. And it wasn't even really their first 2 picks. Their first 2 picks were like good, but then what they did with their next 2 picks, and especially their 3rd pick, where they traded back into the first round to get Jermaine Johnson, who seriously was like 5 or 6 on my big board. I was literally screaming at the TV for the Texans to trade up for him because they had the draft capital. The Jets did
We
it.
can
He was
confirm that he was screaming at the TV, not because we were there, but because the Texans had a preseason game today, and he was screaming at the TV for that. So,
This is the iPat, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, this guy right here.
That very iPad.
But yeah, so the Jets, they got Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Solid picks, but none of those really blew me away. Like, those were like, okay, that's a good pick. Those guys are both going to contribute relatively soon.
And both, what most people would say, the highest at their position, but for cornerback, Ryan disagrees, and his jersey
Hey,
right
I
now.
got it on.
Yeah, his jersey right
look.
now shows otherwise.
There you go. That's the number 1 corner of the draft
So
right there.
did you? I meant to ask you this earlier. Did you? Was that customized, or they actually selling those now?
They're selling them on Fanatics. I bought it probably about a
Makes
month
sense.
ago.
I mean, that's what the
And
photo-
for the first Texas game day, I brought it out of the closet, and I like it.
It is a cool jersey.
Yeah, I do like the Texans
I
uniform.
mean, who else? Is
No,
jersey
really
are
though.
you gonna get?
I have
Brandon Cooks.
yeah, I
you
have
have
his jersey.
Cooks
Yeah, so I got
Davis
Cooks,
Mills.
and he shows out this year. But anyway, so the
Do
Jets.
you really think that's going to happen?
No,
We'll find out.
that'll be our next question.
Yeah, but the thing with the Jets, they got Sauce Gardner. He's going to contribute right away. Garrett Wilson, the thing is, I was lower on Garrett Wilson than most. I actually had his former teammate,
Who was
Chris
your top?
Olave.
Yeah, who's
above
your
him?
top wide receiver?
No,
Who was your top wide
it was
receiver?
Drake London, Jameson Williams, Traylon Burks, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. But again, like, I had first round grades on all those guys, so Garrett Wilson, like, that didn't really blow me away. I was like, oh, okay. But when Drake London was gone, so I was like, okay, that's cool. Get a good target, build around your quarterback. I like it. Sauce Gardner, second best corner, solid pick. Gonna make an instant impact on Robert Saleh's defense. But then, oh my gosh, getting Jermaine Johnson. I don't know if you watched Jermaine Johnson at all, but oh my gosh, getting him where they got him, that's robbery. Like, they should have had the cops called on them. That was absurd.
Yeah, I mean, something has to be up with that. And we were
Which
talking about
base?
that as he kept falling throughout draft night. There's got to be some, I don't know if it's a physical condition. I mean, it happened a couple of years ago with the heart condition of, who was that?
That was JOK, right? With the Browns?
Yeah, with JOK last year, and then there was something. No, but we knew about that a couple years ago. I'm trying to think of his name. On Washington.
I was thinking
Oh,
of
Montez Sweat.
Yeah,
But then
Montez
also even
Sweat.
Nakobe Dean this year fell because of something. I mean, there's always those guys that just fall for no reason, and you're like, what?
Well, yeah,
But
it
I
might
haven't
not
heard
be
anything.
for no
Like, nothing
reason,
like
though.
that has come out about Jermaine Johnson. Like, how he fell to, I think it was 26. Like, how you watch that tape and say he went 26 overall. Like, he was right up there with Hutchinson and Thibodeau for me. And he fell that far. That was absurd.
a lot of it can come down to. I'm not accusing him of being like a bad interviewer, like not a genuine person, but a lot of it can come down to teams will meet with the players, and if they don't like the guy or don't like what they're saying or don't think they fit the culture, they just won't pick them. And I think that sometimes can be more important than the actual skill level, because you'll see guys. I mean, look at Antonio Brown. Like, it's later on in his career, but there's younger guys now that are doing things, and even though they're so talented, they're ruining their careers, and they're making those teams waste draft picks on them because they're not committed to the team, to the culture, and those could be things fixed. So we'll see if that ends up being something that's an issue with Jermaine Johnson. I don't want to think or don't actually think that is the case, but I hope for his case and for the Jets' sake, he can prove that he should have been drafted earlier.
All right, we have literally under a minute left. We have 52 seconds.
All right, this football. We get 3 timeouts, right?
No, I don't know.
No, hey, you probably don't want that.
I'm a Bears fan, so we probably wasted all of our timeouts to avoid delay game penalties already. Anyways, Ryan, we talked about Davis Mills. You're a Texans fan?
Yes.
Just break down what you think of Davis Mills this year.
I think when you look at what Davis Mills did last year with the situation he was in, with where he was drafted, with everything going on with the Texans, when it was the lack of talent on the field or whether it was just everything going on off the field, I thought he did a great job of staying poised and confident. And honestly, like the first part of the season, it was pretty ugly in my opinion. I was just waiting for Tyrod Taylor to come back from his hamstring injury because Davis Mills, it was just unwatchable at some point, and it really wasn't just him, it was just that whole offense and that whole team. But it really was when he took over the starting job in the latter half of the season, the last 5 or 6 games.
Oh, you're done.
We'll be like the politicians. We'll go over the time. What he did the last 5 or 6 games of 2022 really kind of had me saying, wow, okay, there's things there. When you look at how this guy improved, you're seeing the flashes, you're seeing the improvement, and that's just with 1 year, with a, less than good supporting cast, with all the off the field stuff going on in Houston. I believe that Davis Mills, I'm not going to say he's the franchise guy, but with those last 5 or 6 games of 2021, he earned that opportunity to be the guy for 2022. And this 2022,
you're over time.
Hold on, 2022 is like his audition year.
It's clickbait now.
He has a chance to earn.
He
has a chance to earn the job this year. If he does bad, it's C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or someone else for Houston. If he does good, the job is his.
Okay, we don't want to drag this on any longer.
No,
we said we're going to talk about football for 20 minutes, and that's what we did.
All right, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Kind of like a podcast style thing.
Yeah.
All right, marshmallow is down. So, let's get to the outro really quickly. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked our content, this is more of a casual video. There's so many other ones. We just did our Super Bowl predictions about a week ago, and haven't posted in a while since then, but there's a lot of content on just NFL stuff, so go take a look at that as well. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, so that we know you want to see more, and comment to physically tell us that you want to see more.
Do it for the banana.
Lots of different ways to show your support, and we appreciate everyone who clicked on this video, regardless if you like, subscribe, comment, whatever it is. So with that, thanks for watching this video, and with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.